Hi, this is Tommaso from Fleshgod Apocalypse, and you're listening to Gothenburg Student Radio.
You've been on tour with Cataclysm for how long?
It's 32 days now. So
How has it been so far?
great. This tour is working really well. We had a lot of sold out shows, and even I think it's been even more than expectations. And I really think it was because beside the single bands, the package worked really well. So the three bands together, I think we have differences, but we have similarities, and in the end, every show has been good. Usually in such a long tour like this, it's 37 gigs. Usually there are some gigs that are very low down compared to the others, but in this case, pretty much every place has been packed, and even if obviously there have been like smaller shows and bigger shows, but the average has been really good, and all the shows looked really good. So it's been great.
I'm from Sweden, and you skipped Sweden on this tour. And any idea why? Or
No, I just think that probably because even Cataclysm, that obviously probably they're the headliners, so obviously usually the headliners decide about the routing, and probably they preserved most of the Scandinavian areas for later, because the tour was really long already, and it would be extremely long. It would be up to 50 gigs in that way, so we probably, I think they didn't feel like doing such a long tour as the first tour for the album, and I think in the end it will be better, because I think there will be some tour for Sweden, Norway, and Finland in the future, in my opinion. For us, for example, we'll probably play. We're trying to organize some shows in the Scandinavian areas, even around Inferno Festival in Norway that we're doing in April. So I think we'll try to go to these areas separately from all the rest of Europe. But for which concerns Fleshgod, on this tour, obviously we accepted the tour, so it was not in our decisions.
so you released some more special merch like wine and some food pasta.
Yeah.
What is it? Yeah. How come you did that?
The idea was to, I mean, we are trying to, in our image there is a lot of Italian heritage, beside the classical music thing, obviously, but in general, in the concept of the band is really eradicated into our culture. So we felt that beside the normal things that you usually sell as merchandise, it would be cool to do something that really brings our heritage into the things of the everyday life as a merchandise. I mean, I find it interesting, because we had a lot of critics for that, but we don't care about that, because we really did it because we felt like, hey, we're Italians, we have wine, we should do this, because it's a way to bring our heritage into the business, and not only on the musical side and on, for which regards the shows, the vinyls, the CDs and everything. But anyways, I mean, bands sell t-shirts, and if you think about it, a t-shirt has nothing to do with music either. So we felt it could be cool to do something a little different, and also not to be too serious on everything, because it's very important to be serious when you work, serious on stage, when you play, when you practice, but also in some way also try to look at yourself in a way that is not too serious, otherwise it gets boring, you know what I mean?
Your new album, what's the biggest difference on this album compared to maybe your first record and all the other previous ones?
Well, I think we are on a... There's always an evolution going on, and but Agony in particular, that was the previous, it was our first experiment on this thing about writing the music, including the full orchestra set and the piano into the whole songs. Before that, as you know, we were doing we had a lot of progressions, harmonically talking and also melodically talking. We had a lot of progressions that actually come from classical music, especially the Romantic and pre-Romantic period. But we didn't use the orchestra as a something that was going through the whole songs, and Agony was the first time. So obviously many things needed to be understood and to be experimented for the first time, and this is and I think that Labyrinth in some way is the second step of this journey, because we learned many things from Agony, both on the positive side and on the negative side. So we understood all the little things that could be adjusted, and also the thing that we could add, and the thing that maybe we had to change a little bit to fit better with this thing about playing with an orchestra. The thing is that in some way I feel like Labyrinth is a little more complex than Agony from some points of view. For example, the guitar riffing is much more complex than the guitar riffing in Agony. And also the dynamics of the album itself is much more, the range is bigger, so there's more moments of release and moments of tension, while Agony is much more like all heavy from the beginning to the end. But on the other hand, I think that Labyrinth is from other points of view is more enjoyable, maybe understandable, just because we wanted to have this this range to be bigger, and to leave space for who is listening also to imagine, and not only being like attacked all the time in an aggressive way. So this is why there are some songs like Towards the Sun or even Pathfinder that it's pretty heavy, but still it is something really different from what we did before, both from the rhythmic point of view, even for the BPMs that are really different. The feeling is a little bit more into some kind of power metal in some parts, so it's pretty different from the previous, because we actually were already established in a way to treat our music, and this was the first time we started to say, okay, let's do some experiments and try to push our limits here and there, in a different way from before.
You have been around for almost 10 years. More or less.
It feels like that, but I mean, yeah.
Any plans to celebrate the 10 years, and what's the most memorable thing?
I don't know. I mean, yeah. Actually, we started in 2007, so we still have some years to go. And but we didn't think about anything like that, because it feels like because the fact is, it is true that the band started in 2007, but it's also true that the first album came out in 2009, and that's when I joined the band, and we had this lineup, and we started touring, because before that there were just a few gigs with the old lineup. Francesco, our drummer, was singing and play guitar, so the situation was really different. So we still don't feel like a band that exists since such a long time, actually. So we really never thought about it. But yeah, actually, if you think about it, in 3 years it's gonna be 10 years. So we'll see. It's still too early, maybe, because we for sure this year is gonna be a promotion, but next year we're gonna think about writing new material for a new album. So I will let you know when it's gonna be the time.
So your live show, pretty amazing.
Thank you.
First time I've seen you. What makes your live show compared to other bands in your genre stick out? Well,
the way you say that means that it sticks out in some way. Yeah, I mean, and tonight was a very small place, so actually the show was a little smaller than usual, because there's many other things going on when the space is there. But what I can say is, as for everything we do, including the pasta, we really conceive this project as something that goes a little beyond the music. And this doesn't mean that the music is not the basement of everything, because it is, but we really care about bringing this art on different levels. So the show for us is something that is as essential as the music itself, because it's theater. It's not just going there and play the songs. This is why we are investing everything we have into the show, even the fact of bringing an actual piano, or the fact of bringing Veronica to sing all the lyrical parts, because it's really important for us to do something that is real. And this means that even if you play fast extreme music that now is very common in some way, especially in the recordings, because at these times, I mean, nowadays it's pretty easy to write down a song, record it, writing the drum parts and everything. But then this is why now, like in the 70s or in the 60s, now the difference has moved again on the field of the live show. So we really care about bringing something that is real, that is human, of course, so you'll see some mistakes during the set, but still try to be as much perfect as possible, but just working on it every day. And of course bringing energy, some energy on the stage that completely goes beyond the fact that you're playing the songs, that the songs maybe work, but even giving something more, so getting into the character, that's really important for us. So I think that if some kind of energy comes out and people like it, it's exactly because we go there with this approach. When we're on stage, it's like every time it's like a battle, and it's the last one. So it's really important to keep this in mind, in my opinion, and this is what we try to do since the beginning.
So what's the next big thing for the band in 2014?
The next one is in March. We're doing this. It's actually 2 shows. We're doing one in Costa Rica with Deicide, and the day after we're playing at Hell and Heaven Festival in Mexico. That is super huge festival with Kiss, Guns N' Roses. So it's like very. It includes like from the extreme metal to the pop rock music. So that's a really big one. I'm really curious to see how it is live. And that's really cool. And after that, we're preparing for this Infern Festival where we're doing direct support to Dimmu Borgir in Oslo. And I feel that probably that's one of the most important things we're doing this year, because it's, Dimmu Borgir obviously is a big inspiration and we are fans of the band, and to play actually at their house, because that's where they come from, and in a festival that is really important and everything, it feels really good, and we're preparing already for that show. And after that we're doing this Southeast Asia tour, where we're gonna go to Jakarta to Hammersonic Festival, then to Japan, China, and Australia. We're playing Japan with the Black Dahlia Murder, and we're doing Australia with Septic Flesh. And after that, beside these things that are already booked, we are working obviously on US again. I still don't have the details, but probably we'll try to go like in the first part of the summer. And of course, last but not least, we're doing Wacken Open Air this year, so that's very, very important step for us, and we're really excited about it. And then we'll see, because I think the year there will be also more things in the fall, because I know that this year is the year of promotion for Labyrinth, so many things are going on and there's still a lot to discover probably.